All right, so today we are on the Mount of Olives, and this is the view from the Mount of Olives looking back towards Jerusalem. The city of Jerusalem is surrounded by a valley on both the west, the south, and the eastern side. The north is the only one that doesn't have a valley protecting it. The the valleys around, there's mountains on each side looking down on the city. And so this is a very striking view from this location. From the Mount of Olives, you look down on the Temple Mount. You can see the Golden Dome there. This is the historical site significant to Muslims, but it's also the historical site where the temple once stood. And so this location looks down on the city of Jerusalem. And there are several sites that are significant on the Mount of Olives. There is the location of the Ascension, Acts chapter 1, which is actually on the top of this mountain. And then as you work your way down the mountain, there's a church here dedicated to the time that Jesus in Luke chapter 19 looks over the city and he begins to weep over the city. Luke 19, I think it's verses 41 to 44. And he's weeping over the city, over Jerusalem. And there's a church that's built there dedicated to that particular biblical event. And Jesus came to this mountain regularly. And so we know that during the week of Passover, of his crucifixion, the week of his crucifixion, that they came out to this location regularly. And so here is the church dedicated to that event of early in the Passion Week of Jesus weeping over the city of Jerusalem. And so someone came, built a chapel here. It's small. It's a very small room. It seats maybe 100 people. And so I'll show you a picture here in just a second from inside. That's me and Kim, just to prove that we were there, that I'm not just pulling these off of some Google site. All right, so this is inside the church of the tears that Jesus shed over the city of Jerusalem. You look out this window, you can see that stunning view of the city. There's the dome of that church, and there's the reference to Luke. It's written in Latin, and this is done by a Latin church. And so there's that. All right, so now back to the Mount of Olives. The other event that occurs on the Mount of Olives is not that just that Jesus came here all during the week of Passover, but in addition to that, as you know, that on the night in which he is betrayed by Judas, that after doing the Passover meal with his disciples, he comes to this location. And this moment where Jesus prays in the Garden of Gethsemane has been noted here by this Church of All Nations. It's got an olive grove next to it, an olive press. The word Gethsemane means olive press. And so this is a picture. Some of these olive trees are hundreds of years old. There was a legend for a while that some of these trees were old enough to have heard Jesus pray, but I don't think that's really true. But they are really old. Some of these trees are hundreds of years old, and it's a striking location. There's a walk around the courtyard to the outer perimeter of this garden. And again, you can see how close we are to the city of Jerusalem, just across the street, really, and down the ravine until you're to the what's called the Beautiful Gate on the other side. And so this is the Garden of Gethsemane. The church here is dedicated to this event. The inside of this church is striking, like many of these churches. They're actually hosting a mass while we were there. And as with these Gothic style churches, the goal is to press our eyes upward toward heaven, to see God as high and exalted. But here is the location that is usually associated with this. This is the rock. Historically, I don't know if this legend's very accurate or not, but supposedly where Jesus cried great tears and said, "Not my will, but yours. Take this cup from me." And so this event on the Mount of Olives is maybe the most significant event to have occurred here, where Jesus prayed on our behalf and prayed on behalf of his task and his Father's will. Not my will, but yours be done.